Hi, this is Hot Chocolate with Paul for Wednesday, February 15. Good day to you. Today I'm going to talk about my trip to London with Stacy in February of 2020. This was literally 1 month before the whole COVID lockdown started, and I feel like we got that trip in and out of the way just in time. And I know it was already starting to make waves over in Asia, because we did see some Asian people wearing masks at that time, but the rest of us were not. Anyways, we flew there and spent a week in the city of London. We did a lot of sightseeing. We did a lot of walking around. Some of the places that we visited included London Tower, which is the I should call it Tower Bridge. That's what it is. It's Tower Bridge. That's the bridge that everybody thinks of when they see the two big towers standing side by side. That is not actually London Bridge, even though a lot of people think it is. It's called Tower Bridge. And nearby there is Tower Castle, which is like an old fort with a lot of interesting medieval type of stuff to see. We walked around. We were outside London, outside Buckingham Palace. The Queen, I believe, was not in residence at the time. I think she was at her winter location. But we got to be outside, and we saw some of the military precision work that was going on the outside. We visited Westminster Abbey. We visited Kensington Palace and Albert Hall, the Royal Albert Hall. There were no shows going on while we were there, but we got to tour the place, and we got to go up to the spot where the Queen and the other royals would watch the shows from. And we even got to go in the private room where the Queen goes with the private bathroom, so she can do her royal tinkle if she needed to. We took some tours on the ferry boats of the River Thames, and we also went up into the London Eye. One of the highlights of that trip was a bucket list item for me. I wanted to see Abbey Road. I wanted to pose in a picture on the crosswalk that the Beatles did. As you know, it's a very famous picture of the Beatles. As I understand it, the day they set that up, there were only 6 photos taken of them actually crossing the road back and forth. And then Paul McCartney was the one who went through the 6 photos and decided on which one was going to be the one used on the cover of the Abbey Road album. Now, Abbey Road is an actual name of a street there. The Abbey Road Studios are right there. There is a fence outside the Abbey Road Studios, so you can't go inside, but of course there's graffiti written all over that fence. Next to Abbey Road Studios, there is a shop that you can go into to buy some Beatles merchandise and some other merchandise related to the Abbey Road Studios. So the crosswalk itself, the photo shows them looking down the road, behind the Beatles. You see down the road, of course, you see the Volkswagen there. There's actually no parking there anymore. You can't park along that road anymore. And then behind the camera, which you don't see in the picture, the intersection is actually a roundabout. People stop there taking photos all the time. I'm sure it ties up traffic a little bit, so you got to kind of time it out to make sure you're not blocking too much traffic. So that's the challenge. We got there, I think it was around 9:30 in the morning, something like that. So it wasn't too bad at that point. We wanted to get a picture from the same angle that the Beatles did. Now, one thing to be aware of is that the Beatles photographer actually had a stepladder that he was up high a little bit, kind of looking down on the Beatles a little bit. but we didn't have that option. So there's a slightly different angle from down slightly lower from the pictures that we took. So who did we get to take the picture? Well, I had to look around at the other tourists that were there and come up with an exchange, camera exchange. I'll take your picture if you take our picture. That kind of an arrangement. So I came across a group of 4 people. They were from America. They wanted to do the pose with the 4 of them, and he was the one who took his shoes off so he could do the barefoot Paul McCartney pose. So I took pictures of them first, and then we traded places, and they took pictures of Stacy and me. So we took several pictures, and it was cool to get it. We didn't have any issues with traffic. We timed it out right. Excuse me. There was a cargo truck that entered the picture. It was doing, I think it was going in to a driveway just a short distance away, roughly where the Volkswagen was in the original picture. So I call that cargo truck my Volkswagen for my picture. So we took the pictures, and then we walked around a little bit more, and I started taking some videos of the area, and finally finished it off with, hey, let's actually cross the road. So we did that. So after I came back, I made a short little video, and I would like to see you the video of Stacy and me on the Abbey Road crosswalk, and here it is. That's the webcam.
It's like all day.
Do something weird. Let's actually cross the road here. Let's go. All right, we just crossed Abbey Road. So that's Stacy and me doing the Abbey Road crosswalk. Now, there's one final thing that I wanted to mention about our trip to London. One of the things we went to was a dinner show. It was a medieval dinner show, and it had all the medieval type of waiters and waitresses, which they called wenches. I don't know how politically incorrect that is, but that's what they got away with calling everybody. It was a fun show, but I think the most memorable thing for us was 2 people that we met sitting at the same table. Now, the way they did this, since there were only the 2 of us, but these were long tables with, I think, like 12 or 14 people sitting at the table, somewhere in that range. So there were multiple groups of people there. And 2 people that were sitting next to us, you know, Stacy and I sat across from each other. And next to me was a woman from Brazil. And across the table next to Stacy was a man from Russia. Both of these people were on business trips to London, and as luck would have it for them, on that particular day, they sat across from each other at this table. So after the show and dinner were over and we got up to dance, these two people got up and had, basically I call it sucking face. I mean, oh my gosh, they started making out like crazy on the dance floor, and I don't think it let up for at least 20 minutes. And then afterwards, when Stacy and I were walking back out, we were walking around London a little bit, eventually making our way back to our hotel, we ran into them again, happily walking around London together. And the whole thing was so amusing to me. All I could think of was some kind of a romance novel out of this. A businessman from Russia, a businesswoman from Brazil, are both young, good-looking people meeting by chance in the city of London and having a night of passion. So there you go. Whoever wants to write a romance novel about it. Anyways, that's Hot Chocolate with Paul for today, and have a good day.